When I wondered if she'd marry me, the alien woman smiled and agreed. The stars shimmered like cold fire above the observation deck of the ardent Voyager. The ship hung silent at the edge of the Vathiz Nebula, where blue and gold light coiled through the void like breathing flame. Captain Ethan Hale leaned against the glass, staring into that infinite ocean of color. The hum of the ship's life support was steady, but his heartbeat was not. She stood behind him, silent, radiant, and impossibly calm. Her name was Serai, though most of the crew simply called her Serai. She was a Xirathi, a race of humanoids who once ruled the spiral arms beyond Epsilon Eridani. Their empire had fallen long before humanity took to the stars, leaving only scattered survivors who drifted between systems like forgotten ghosts. Serai was one of them, the last known Xirathi in human space. Ethan had rescued her from a derelict outpost 2 years ago, and she'd since become both his ally and his mystery. Now, as they prepared to depart the nebula, Ethan caught her reflection in the glass, tall, graceful, with faint silver lines glowing along her temples. Her people called it the mark of truth, a shimmer that revealed emotion through light. Right now it glowed softly, like moonlight on calm water. "Captain," she said quietly, stepping closer. "You've been staring at the same star cluster for 20 minutes. Ethan smiled faintly. "Maybe I was hoping it'd blink first." Serai tilted her head, the gesture both alien and charming. "Stars don't blink out of nervousness, Captain." He turned to face her, and for a moment words deserted him. The light from the nebula cast blue fire across her features. Too perfect, too unearthly. It wasn't the first time he'd wondered what it meant, this strange comfort he found in her presence. Humanity had made contact with dozens of species since the expansion began, but none had ever felt this close. She wasn't just a companion or a crewmate. She was something else. Something that made the silence between them feel like a heartbeat. Part 1. The Promise Beneath the Stars. The mission had been simple, or so the Admiral said. Chart the unclaimed sectors beyond Vathiz, record gravitational anomalies, return home. But halfway through their voyage, the ardent Voyager detected a distress beacon, faint, ancient, and unmistakably Xirathi. Serai had frozen when she heard it. "That signal. It's from my people. From before the fall." Against orders, Ethan had diverted the ship to investigate. They found the wreckage of an old Xirathi warship embedded in the ice of a small moon. The corridors were filled with frozen air and silent metal, but Serai moved through them like she was walking through memory. In the central chamber, they found it, a crystalline core humming faintly, containing the recorded consciousness of Serai's ancestors. Thousands of years of history, stored in a single artifact. Serai reached out to touch it. The lights along her temples flared like twin suns. "This is my people's soul," she whispered. Ethan saw something then, a tear shimmering in her eye, something fragile breaking beneath her composed voice. Without thinking, he placed his hand over hers. "We'll bring it home," he said softly. She turned to him, eyes bright and unreadable. "You would do that for me?" He hesitated only a second. "Yeah, for you." They brought the artifact aboard, unaware that doing so would draw the attention of others. Scavengers, raiders, and those who'd pay fortunes for alien relics. The following weeks were chaos. Their ship was ambushed twice. Half the systems were damaged beyond repair. But through it all, Serai never left his side. She fought with quiet grace, her weapon a slender blade that shimmered with pale light. When the ship finally reached the outer edge of soul space, Ethan found her sitting alone in the cargo bay beside the crystalline core. "It's safe now," he said. "We made it." She looked up. "Because of you." He shrugged. Because of both of us. Her gaze lingered. Humans. You always downplay your worth. Why is that? Ethan chuckled. Because admitting we care too much makes us look soft. Serai's light dimmed slightly, the Xirathi equivalent of a smile. And yet, it is softness that saves the world, not iron. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The hum of the core filled the silence between them. Steady, warm, almost like a heartbeat. Part 2. The question that changed everything. Weeks passed. The ardent Voyager was docked for repairs above Mars. Most of the crew took shore leave, but Ethan remained aboard. So did Serai. They spent their nights on the observation deck, sharing fragments of history. Her stories of the Xirathi, his of humanity's wars, both realizing how similar their worlds had been. It was on the 7th night that he said it, a simple thought, not meant to be spoken aloud. I wonder what it would be like, he murmured almost to himself, if someone like her could ever marry someone like me. He didn't know she'd heard him, or that her species could read emotions through sound resonance. The air shifted faintly, the lights around her temple flaring with pale silver. Serai turned toward him. You wonder if I would marry you? Ethan froze. No, I didn't, I mean. Her eyes studied him with a calm intensity that made his pulse spike. Humans speak with carelessness, she said softly. But you are not careless, Ethan Hale. He laughed nervously. Serai, that was a thought, not a. Then why does your heartbeat change when I step closer? She whispered. He swallowed hard. Because you're not like anyone I've ever met. She closed the distance between them. Then your wondering has already found its answer. He blinked. What do you mean? Serai smiled faintly, the glow on her skin pulsing in rhythm with her words. You asked if I would marry you. I say yes. The world seemed to stop. Ethan stared, trying to tell if she was serious. But Xirathi didn't joke. Their language didn't even have a word for sarcasm. Serai, he said finally, you don't even know what marriage means to humans. I do, she said quietly. A binding of spirit, a joining of trust. It is not so different from our bonding ritual. He ran a hand through his hair, laughing in disbelief. You can't just agree to that. Why? She asked. Because you did not expect me to. Part 3. The Bond Beyond Species. Days passed, but the conversation haunted him. Serai continued to act as if nothing unusual had occurred, though her presence seemed to follow him everywhere. When she entered a room, the air changed, not in temperature but in gravity. Finally, one night, he found her meditating near the ship's core. The faint energy of the artifact pulsed around her like light rippling across water. Serai, he said quietly. About what you said earlier. Do you really mean it? She opened her eyes. Do you? He hesitated. I don't know. I mean, you're an alien queen from a dead empire, and I'm just a man with too many mistakes. Her expression softened. And yet, you saved me when no one else would. You fought for my people's memory when you could have walked away. Tell me, Ethan, is that not the essence of love? He took a slow breath.